various the various sources of radiation that we can actually pinpoint what we want to define as low dose, what we want to define as mid-level dose, and what we want to define as high dose? I mean, can we do that other than kind of retroactively looking to see, okay, the people in this area close to Nagasaki, they died immediately, these people developed cancer 10 years later, these people are living longer? Other than looking back on it, is there any way that we can make predictive judgments about this so that we could actually one day hope to apply this as a healing technique?
I have visited 2 radiation hormesis clinics in Japan. I think there are about 6 of them. And they understand this very well.
And they've perfected the application in terms of dosage.
They have, yeah, you have a good idea of the dosage. For long term, I think very good. Short term, we have less information, but there's not a lot, but there's some.
So my understanding, having read what I've read thus far, my understanding about the problem with the mines and the caves where people go, either radon caves or the mines in Boulder, Montana, is that you go and you get an effect, and it lasts for a certain period of time, and then you go home, and eventually the effect wears off. So in Japan, how are they making a long-term effect with people when they go back home?
I don't think they try, because this is a bit new. When I say the atom bomb health effects, that's a one-time effect, and that's quite different than the routine, everyday effect. So they don't know it. They haven't gotten this paper yet, so they're not into the massive dose business. They give low doses.
They give low doses while the person is at the clinic.
Oh yes.
And then they're finding that when the person goes home, that the effect lasts, or it lasts a certain period of time, or it doesn't last very long.
That the radon mimes and Goldberg would probably know as well as anybody.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the people in Bad Gastein in Austria, they would know, I think.
Don, I'm at this moment wearing a pendant, and the stone in the pendant is low-level radioactive. And I wear it all the time, and I sleep on a pack that is radioactive mud that is made from cutting up various radioactive rocks, and then the mud is kind of the debris of the rocks. And I know there are a lot of people in this country now that are doing that. Not a lot, but there are maybe a couple of thousand people that are doing this, because there's a man named Jay Gutierrez who is mining these radioactive stones, and then people are using them in their everyday life. So he's had really good success with treating a lot of different diseases, including stage 4 cancers he's reversed.
Yeah, I don't know this business, I have to tell you.
Uh-huh.
But I sleep with a rock from a radon mine. I put it on a bookshelf about a foot, a little more than a foot, 15 inches from my spleen back when I lie on my side, because I think that's the most sensitive area for healing.
The spleen, that's interesting. What leads you to that idea?
It's the center for white blood cell regeneration.
Uh-huh.
And the white blood cells are very strong in immunity. So it builds up your immunity the best, I think. If I take a Geiger counter to that rock, it says boom, 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 boom. And the closer you get, the faster it goes. Brrr. And if you put it right next to it, it goes brrr. And the point is that you're getting different rays as you get it closer and closer. As you keep it away from your body, you're only getting mostly gamma rays. As you get it within an inch or so, you're starting to get some beta rays. You get it very, very close, quarter of an inch or so, you're getting alpha rays. I'm guessing that if I put it next to my skin, that I would get a burn there.
Yeah.
And that was the first indication of the harm from radiation.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it was also the first quantitative estimate of how much radiation you got, was the reddening of the skin.
And how far away is your rock from your body?
It's about 15 inches.
Okay, 1.5.
Yeah.
So a little over a foot. And
it's also giving an awful lot of radon out of there. It's just a radon fountain.
Yeah.
So it's very healthy rock from Rocky Mountains.
And so at 15 inches from your body, what millirims are you receiving?
You know, I don't know, because I don't have a machine to measure it. Paper titled Gamma Ray Photosynthesis. And in that one I have some photosynthetic bacteria, and their optimum is in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 gray per hour. And you're talking about milligray per year when you're talking about how much radiation you have.
Right.
They're optimum. They go like mad with the more radiation. They can an awful lot.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think you're hurting anybody down there.
Uh-huh. So, Don, is there any other way besides sleeping with this rock 15 inches from your body and your spleen? Is there any other way that you incorporate your understanding of the beneficial effects of low-level radiation into your life?
Well, I think the radon mine is good, and these radon clinics are good, and they would know quite a lot about it.
Yeah, but they're so far away.
No, but they would know quantitatives and tell you.
Uh-huh.
They have walls painted with radioactive material.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Whole rooms are, and then they have a spa. The last, in fact, I guess the last one I saw, they had a special room with a spa down there with radiation, and they know pretty much how much you should have.
And these clinics have done double-blind studies, and they get...
I don't think so.
No.
As they have said, my book is their Bible.
Uh-huh.
I can send you the name of one of them, email and so forth.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I'd like to be communicating with them. I don't know if I'm getting to Japan anytime in the near future.
You don't have to go, but they'll talk. I mean, they speak English.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I'd like to go to receive the benefits.
I think I told you that 30 Japanese are coming to Boulder, Montana in mid-June.
Yeah, you did. And they're going to show Pat Lewis the cream that they've developed?
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do beyond that. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
There are 30 of them. They're all enthusiastic.
Uh-huh. So you never went so far as to paint your room with radioactive paint?
No, but I sleep on a little blanket that has this radioactive stuff in it.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
And did someone make it for you, or how did you get a blanket?
Well, the first spa that I had in Japan, I think they gave it to me.
Uh-huh. Well, my daughter sleeps on a pad that's radioactive.
Okay, well, keep watching for red skin.
Yeah, I think she's good. She has not broken out or been burned or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and they measured it. The guy who made it measured it. So you were talking about these 3 different rays, and are you absorbing all 3 of the rays from the stone that you sleep?
No, I'm only getting the gamma.
Only the gamma, which is the penetrating ray.
Well, it goes further, yeah. The alpha only goes a quarter of an inch, and the beta goes maybe an inch in there, and so I'm not getting those at all, basically.
Yeah. Attributing part of your the fact that you've lived as long as you have to exposing yourself to low-level radiation?
Yes and no. Not this kind of exposure, but I come from Wyoming, where radioactivity is probably 4 to 5 times, maybe 10 times higher than it is in where you are.
The background radiation.
The background from the rocks and from the sky.
Uh-huh.
The cosmic radiation.
So if we want to live into our 90s, we should all move to Wyoming?
Well, it wouldn't hurt. Help. Good clean air.
Of it is just normal background radiation that you grew up being exposed to.
I do not believe it. It's just the.
It's not just the application.
The stuff that I've got the rocks are on. And so
yeah.
That's fairly recent.
Yeah. And your daughter she's got to be in her 60s, right?
She's my youngest daughter, and she is 60 this year, I do believe.
Uh-huh. And does she also expose herself to radioactivity?
No, but her husband's more interested, and I have willed this rock to him.
Uh-huh, that's funny.
Have you picked up Jay Kaplan as a name?
Jay Kaplan, I don't recognize the name.
He's into this sort of thing a little bit.
Where is he?
I think New Jersey, I don't know.
New Jersey? What does he do with it? Because New Jersey's really close. It's right across the river from where I am.
Well, this is not his business. He just is into it a little bit.
Uh-huh. Well, I'd like to talk to him.
Well, I'll send you something about him.
Okay, that'd be great.
Muckerhide, you know him?
I know the name. I've read some of his papers, yes.
Well, he's a radioactive... He's a radiation physicist.
Uh-huh.
So he knows what he's doing, and I don't, you know.
Uh-huh.
The other general thing I should say about radiation is that I believe it is essential. It's equivalent to a vitamin or an essential mineral like iron, calcium, and so forth.
And do you similarly believe that we are all radioactive deficient? And that might be at least a component in why it is that we're not living longer and living healthier?
You have it on the button.
Okay, good. So
I claim that, and I try to convince doctors that you could cut cancer to negligible proportions with the right amount of radiation.
And how would you get to people the right amount of radiation? What would be your proposal about how doctors could accomplish that?
I don't worry about those things. I'm up on the mountain top.
Okay, so you're going to let the doctors figure that part out.
Yeah, well, the people in Japan are doing it.
Yeah.
And they have very good ideas of what they're doing.
And are they mostly centered around places on Earth where radioactivity is
No, they're
bubbling up?
Tokyo.
I'm sorry?
The clinics are all in Tokyo.
Oh, really? So they're making radioactivity in some fashion by painting the walls or bringing in rocks.
And for a while, hotels picked up on it, and very expensive hotels were putting in radon spas in the hotel room for you.
Wow. In the room itself, not even that you have to go down to the ground floor to...
Your own little bathroom there. Again, it's the same thing, that you have a screen with this stuff in it and pass air through and filter it, and the radon comes through.
And how are they, is the radon coming off of stone? How are they creating the radon?
Yeah, just powdered stone.
So they find radioactive stone and then they process it in whatever way they want and...
Yeah, and these other fellows just make a paint out of it.
Uh-huh. So should I paint my bedroom?
There's nothing wrong with it.
I can't overexpose myself with that level?
I don't believe you could.
So tell me more about the atomic bomb. Because since I live in New York City, you know, if anybody's going to be hit, it's going to be either north or south of 14th Street. I'm pretty close to 14th Street. So I'm probably going to be fried in the beginning. But, what you're saying is not, the phenomenon is going to be the same in terms of Nagasaki, Hiroshima, that they're going to be immediate deaths from burns. And although I interviewed Ted Rockwell, and he wanted to make it, he was involved with the Manhattan Project and the creation of the atomic bomb. So he really felt very strongly that he wanted to make it clear that the initial people that were burned were not burned from radioactive burns, that was not possible since the bomb exploded in the air, but that they were burned from, they were killed from falling debris, and they were burned from the heat.
Right.
But not from radiologic activity.
That's right, and roughly 50% of them have no bad effects or else good effects.
Yeah. So if we survive the initial blast, and if we don't get so close that we're going to get radiologically induced cancers, then we're going to be in really good shape. So maybe we're talking about Riverdale and Yonkers and Queens and Brooklyn as opposed to in the heart of Manhattan.
Well, you get the idea from Russia when they had this explosion of the nuclear reactor.
Yeah, let's talk about Chernobyl. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because in the last 3 days I have met 2 people from Russia, and I wanted to get a kind of, Russian, just regular person input about this, and so I asked both of them, well, what happened with Chernobyl, and what do you think was the end result of it, and did people get sick from it? And one woman, she looked me right in the eye and she said, oh my God, it was terrible. It just, so many awful things happened, just people dying and people born with 2 heads and people born without legs. And so I've read enough about Chernobyl to know that it's not true. So I said, really? What makes you say that? And she said, I saw it. And I said, really? You saw it with your own eyes? You saw 2-headed babies and children without legs? She said, I saw it on TV.
Uh-huh.
So that's what all the Russians think. So tell me about Chernobyl.
Well, roughly 300 people were seriously hurt, and I guess 3 or so died. I'm not sure that number. The point is, you get out in the city, all this stuff is there evacuated, which is now just wasteland, and those animals living in there are just as happy as larks, bigger than ever, etc.
Yeah, I understand there's a deer that was going extinct, and now he's come back and is all over that area.
Yeah. So Russia spent awful big proportion of their national gross product on it, and it was a waste of money.
Yeah, and hasn't Europe and also the United States, I think, created funds to help the so-called victims of the accident? It's like a big business now. It's kind of like our current bailout.
Yeah, well. So, except for the immediate area, there was no big problem there, I don't think at all.
Yeah.
And you get the same thing from what do I do one?
3 Mile Island.
That's what I was going to say, 3 Mile Island. There was so much publicity and hubbub, and yet they had a girl named Stewart came from England to investigate it. She got more radiation on the trip over and back than any of the people in the whole city.
Yeah.
Just from increased cosmic rays. So it was minuscule.
Now, there is a study, the information is on my computer, which is on the other side of the room, but apparently a study just came out that said that exposure to low-level radiation is much worse than we ever thought. And you do see these studies. I mean, I have a book that's called Deadly Deceits, and, it talks about all of the dangers of radiation. And then there's John Goffman, you know who he is. So what do you say to all of this counter research that says that even the tiniest little exposure is bad for you?
Well, all I say is you look at dose, and yes, you can get harm from radiation, but if you get below a certain level, you get benefits, and those benefits are multiple, primarily through activation of immune system, so you have less disease, etc.
Yeah.
It also increases growth and lifespan and so forth.
Do you think we should go have periodic X-rays to increase our exposure, or you think that's too high?
No. I need to send you a bibliography, I think. And there was one study in Canada with women with a congested lungs and so forth, and they gave them routine X-rays. And again, there's a very exact dividing spot where below this level, these ladies had less cancer thereafter than controls.
Oh, I don't have that study. I'd like to see that.
Well, I'll send you a bibliography, and it'll be in there.
Okay, great. So it's possible that we should have, if we knew the right amount of X-rays to have, that it would benefit us to have them periodically.
Yes, I said you'd have minuscule, practically no cancer.
Yeah.
Minusculely.
Yeah. So in terms of the natural sources of radiation, stones, I could surround myself with stones and probably not overdose on radiation.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is the one you wear next to your skin. If it has a lot of alpha and beta rays, you might get a burn.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, I don't think there's any problem.
Uh-huh. And there's probably no background radiation, no matter where you are on Earth, no matter how high the background radiation is. It's not going to be too high. It's only going to benefit you.
I don't know about these radon spas, how much they get.
Uh-huh. So maybe if you wanted to live in a radon spa day 24/7,
that's what I'm thinking.
That might be too much.
24 hours a day, it might be too much.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But probably not. I don't know. But I have on my graphs, or straight line graphs, and I show very clearly where the non-radiation is, and therefore you can see what is beneficial is below that.
Don, do you have any thoughts about why this country has resisted so much these ideas, since we could save so much money on health and medicine, and it's such a simple solution that it's almost mind-boggling that this has not been incorporated into the American health system the way it has been in Japan?
Yeah, it started with the development of the atom bomb about 1940, and the geneticist said, you'll get too much radiation, you'll kill everybody.
And was there any basis?
Trump got scared and gave them all the money they wanted, and they kept it alive. The monsters you get from breeding flies that have excess radiation, you get all kind of monsters. And they played up this whole story just to get research money. Geneticists are the prime movers. Secondly, then, Uncle Sam decided that's probably true, and therefore we need to give this to medical people to help solve the problem, and they know nothing about radiation, never did. So they gave the problem to physicists who never had a course in health, anything. And that's how the country's run. So
it's mostly, it's about money and it's about politics.
Yeah, originally it was, and it still is, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think the tides are turning? Do you think that there's any kind of change that's coming that might mean some movement?
No.
No.
I think during the campaign a year ago, there was occasional talk about increased radioactive radiation electricity, and since the election, nobody says a word about power from radiation.
You don't mean nuclear power plants. You mean
Sure.
something? Is that what you mean?
Sure.
Oh.
They were brought up several times during the election, but now you don't hear a word about it.
So it was brought.
Says we need this power from A, B, C, D, F sources. No one says anything about nuclear power.
It was brought up during the election campaign in favorable terms. You mean?
Yeah.
And did Obama mention it?
I don't know that the Democrats did a lot, but probably did some.
So obviously you would be in favor.
It's been squashed.
You would be in favor of nuclear energy. You would.
Of course.
Yeah, it's clean.
And there's basically been no problem with it.
Right.
Chernobyl was a big error, and it had errors, but really no big problem.
And nuclear power plant workers live longer, the research shows?
This has not been studied.
No, I thought I read a study about that.
Well, people in radiation industries live longer. I have done that a lot, and that's about 7 million person years combined. Show the more radiation, the less cancer you'll get, and the longer life you'll get. And it's up to an astounding amount.
So we should, as long as we don't have mold, we should all find radioactive rocks to put next to our beds, yes?
Yeah.
As long as we don't have mold.
And don't put them next to your body.
And don't put the rock next to our body so we don't get burned.
Right.
So, I guess we all need to buy Geiger counters, and we all need to go to Utah and Wyoming, and go into the hills and look for our rocks, right?
Yeah, there's a group that studies this to some extent. Jane Orient, do you know the name?
No.
In Arizona, they have an annual meeting, and they always have people there on radiation. So you might like to go sometime.
Yeah.
And there they have people who worry about bomb shelters, as well as people who have counters of various sorts. So I'll give you that name too. Okay,
sounds good. Is there anything else we should talk about?
I know what you want. I guess I should send you a bibliography.
Okay, that sounds good. My book is actually being printed. It'll be finished tomorrow from the printer. And I'd be happy to send it to you. So when you email me, send me your address and I'll send you a book.
A free book?
Yeah, free book.
Did I have to read?
No, you don't have to read it. You can just look at the pictures.
Thank you.
Don, I really appreciate you talking to me.
Well, I've enjoyed it.
This interview, we're also making a DVD. So like I said, there's a camera looking at me right now. And you know what would be great? If can I get a still picture of you and I can put that like in the corner of me speaking so that at least people could see what you look like?
I thought I sent you my biography.
You did. You sent me your
several pictures of me.
Oh, okay. I thought I remembered seeing a picture, and so I just wanted to make sure that. So I should take one of those.
You sure?
Okay, that sounds good. So when the DVD is ready, then I think we're going to do two DVDs. Actually, we're going to do one just on the health stuff, and the other one on the nuclear power and the kind of political stuff. So when those are done, then I'll send you those too. And then you don't have to read anything. You can just look.
Hey, Dr. Hyde is very good on these things. He's like Ted.
Well, I don't think I could find an email address for him. I emailed everybody that I could find a way of contacting them.
Well, I'll send you Mucker Hyde, too.
Okay, that'd be great. And where is he? For some reason, I think he's in Boston.
He's in Boston.
Okay. Boston's really easy for me to get to. Washington, D.C. was really easy. By the way, I don't know how well you know Ted. Do you know him well?
No, we've met and talked 5 or 6 times.
He's not as old as you. He's 86. But he picked us up from the train station. He's driving. So he's still in pretty good shape. His wife, Mary, had a stroke. And so he's kind of taking care of her all the time.
Yeah, I met them and was in their home.
Yeah, they have a nice home. So part of the DVD is in his home where I'm interviewing him.
Very good.
Yeah, nice home.
Oh, he's a great guy, so you do it well. And
I thoroughly enjoyed meeting him. Yeah. And I have enjoyed meeting you, even though I'm not looking at you.
How about your phone number if I want you?
Oh, absolutely. 212.
202?
212.
212.
477.
477.
6039.
6039.
Yeah, and I want to tell you that this guy that is mining these stones, Jay Gutierrez, he has now opened up a center in Pritchard, Colorado, which is the very southeast corner. I don't know why I'm screaming, because the microphone is right here. In the very southeast corner of Colorado, it's a little town. I went out there recently to see what he had, and I Googled the town before I went, and Google said that the town had a population of 78 people. So when I got there, there's one commercial place. It's a little cafe. So I went to the woman that owned the cafe, and I said, I understand you have a population of 78. And she said, oh, well, I know that's what they say, but I really think we have 124 people. So it's a very small town. And he bought a building, and he renovated it, and so now it's like a hotel. And what he's done is bought these two I think only one. I think he has one really big jacuzzi, one of those whirlpool things that you get into. So it's filled with water, and he's got radioactive stones in the water. And so he's giving people radon baths. So now you don't have to go to Japan or even Wyoming to the mines. Now you can go to Colorado. And also, I should tell you this. So Jay has this, he's going to run it. He's attracting a lot of cancer patients, and, he's feeding them good food, and they're doing the radon baths, and, I don't know. He's got these various detox things. He's got a foot detox. And so since meeting Jay and being turned on to all of this stuff and doing all the research that I've done to write the book, by the way, I don't sleep very much. I don't need very much sleep. So I got up at 4 every morning, and my daughter gets up, I get her up around 7, and then she takes about an hour to get ready for school. So I've got from 4 to 8 where I don't have to talk to anybody, or it's before I begin. I'm a psychoanalyst. I work with psychoanalytic patients, so it's before I start working. And so for 6 months, every day, from 4 to 8 a.m., I did research and wrote this book. And I really got very enamored of this idea of the low-level radiation. I mean, I've just immersed myself in it. So I own a day spa. You probably know that from my signature when I email you. And the day spa is right on the second. I'm on the 3rd floor, and the day spa is on the 2nd floor of this building. And we have what's called a flotation room, where it's like a really big bathtub. It's kind of a walk-in closet size. So you go in, and we put 800 pounds of Epsom salts in it, and we heat the water to skin temperature. And you lie in it, and you float. It's like the Dead Sea, except that it's warm. So it's really quite relaxing and wonderful. I love doing it. And so now I'm putting stones in the float room so that people are getting radioactive floats. So that's what we're doing in New York. You can go to New York, and you can go to Colorado now for radon and low-level radioactive treatments.
Okay, I'll just take it from my little stone.
Yeah, your stone sounds good.
It's a radon fountain.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate you talking to me, and it was a real pleasure.
Well, I think your concept that, when I said nutrition, that we are deficient in radiation, I think that's a good concept.
Yes, and I do say that in the book. You'll see that. I agree with you. I think it's a good concept.
So you're doing well.
Well, you've led the way, Don.
I'll give you a gold star for the day.
Don, everyone says you're the man, you're the guy, and I say it in the book. Everyone says you're the guy that put this on the map.
I'm trying. I'm about finished with radiation, though.
Oh, really?
I've got one more big paper to write, and I don't know what I'll do after that. But
so you don't know what's going to interest you next?
Well, I'm into prehistory.
Oh, like goddess?
Like who?
Goddess world? The goddess world?
No, real, honest to goodness, prehistory.
Uh-huh. P-R-E, prehistory?
Yes.
So
before writing.
Uh-huh. Okay. I did a little study of that, and that was like the matriarchal world, and when they were still worshiping goddesses and not gods, and that kind of stuff. That I found that stuff really interesting.
Well, you need to read Gilgamesh.
Okay.
Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of it.
Well, the point is that it was written 2,000 years before the Bible.
Yeah.
The first 6 books are the origin of everything, and then there was no book, so that was equivalent to the first 6 days, and the 7th day was nothing, so God rested.
Yeah.
And then toward the end you get Noah, and the present paper I'm working on is called Noah's Forever Home.
Uh-huh.
Because from Gilgamesh you can tell where Noah went.
Uh-huh.
So that's my prehistory kind of stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
A lot of fun.
I'll look forward to reading about that too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Don. Thank you.